So Sennheiser just updated their HD 4.50 BTNCs with their new HD 450 BTs, which do have some key upgrades over their predecessors. Now, naturally, people are asking how do the HD 450 BTs stack up against the Sony WH-CH700N. Now, Sony is going to be releasing their updated WH-CH710N in a few months with what seems like with a major redesign, which personally has me very excited. Now, I'm predicting that the WH-CH710N will be released in around April, but in the meantime, let's see how these two headphones stack up against one another. Now, when it comes to price, both of these headphones retail for $200. But now that the Sony WH-CH700Ns are almost 2 years old now, they could be found on sale for $130 and they sometimes go on sale for $90. But I wouldn't be surprised if Sennheiser put the HD 450 BTs on sale from time to time to stay competitive. Nonetheless, if you want to pick either of these headphones up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to learn more about either of these two headphones, please watch their full reviews because we're only going to be going over their main differences. Now, the first major difference between these two headphones is that the 450 BTs come included with a soft shell carrying case, whereas the Sonys don't. Now, personally, I still recommend that you invest in a hard shell carrying case if you plan on commuting a lot with either of these headphones. But build quality wise, the Sennheisers are way more durable than the Sonys, so I wouldn't worry about them too much if you were to stash them in your backpack compared to the Sonys. And like I said in the full review, the HD 450 BTs have exceptional build quality for a pair of $200 headphones. They're using this high-density plastic, these headphones are very sturdy, and they're basically silent whenever you flex their headband or rotate their ear cups. Which unfortunately can't be said about the Sony WH-700N, because these headphones like to squeak a lot whenever you're handling them. Like I've said in the past, build quality on the WH-700N is a major weak point for them. So here's hoping that the WH-710N changes that. Now, when it comes to fit, personally the clear winner here are the Sonys mainly because of their very spacious ear cups. Because the ear cups on the Sennheisers are pretty cramped by comparison. Even though I have average size ears that don't stick out a lot, these ear pads still rest on my earlobes. Also, since these ear pads have a lot of surface area that come in contact with your skin, these ear pads do heat up a lot faster than the Sonys if you're moving around with them on. Now, even though both of these headphones are big head approved, the Sennheisers do have a more snug fit. Whereas with the Sonys, they're much easier to adjust. So overall, even though the HD 450 BTs fit decent, the Sony WH-700Ns are going to fit more people more comfortably. Now, when it comes to tech specs, first off, I want to point out that both of these headphones have audio jacks. Now, I know this may seem simple, but I gotta point this out because some headphones are starting to get rid of their audio jacks, like the Beats Solo Pro. Now, personally, I still think that you need an audio jack because if you're a content creator, you still want to be able to plug your headphones in to monitor your audio if you're working on a project. And even if you're just an average user, you want to be able to do something as simple as plugging your headphones in to watch an in-flight movie if you're on an airplane. Now, when it comes to ports, the HD 450 BTs have been upgraded to a USB-C port, whereas the WH-700Ns are still using a micro USB port. But obviously, when the WH-710N's release, they're going to be upgraded to a USB-C port, just like the rest of Sony's newer headphones. But just as a heads up, the USB-C port on the Sennheisers is strictly used for charging the headphones. You can't use the USB-C port on these headphones as a wired connection, like you can with the Sennheiser Momentum 3s. Now, when it comes to battery lives, the Sonys have an advertised battery life of 35 hours, whereas the Sennheisers have an advertised battery life of 30 hours. Nonetheless, both of these headphones should have no problem going at least a week or a week and a half in between charges. Now, when it comes to Bluetooth connectivity, the Sonys are rocking Bluetooth 4.1, but they can only be connected to one device at a time. Whereas the Sennheisers are rocking Bluetooth 5.0, but more importantly, they can be connected to two devices at the same time, so you can easily hot swap from your phone to your computer. Now, when it comes to the soon-to-be-released WH-CH710Ns, I still don't think those headphones are going to have support for multi-device connectivity. Because even the newer WH-CH710Ns, which are using Bluetooth 5.0, they can still only be connected to one device at a time. So I wouldn't get my hopes up for the WH-CH710Ns to be able to connect to two devices at the same time. Which is a real shame because multi-device connectivity is one of the most requested features on basically all of Sony's headphones. But finally, I do want to quickly address the latency on these headphones whenever you're watching movies or videos with them. The Sonys have zero latency across the board, whether you're using an iPhone or Android device, which is good. Whereas the Sennheisers do have a noticeable amount of latency whenever you watch YouTube videos on an iPhone. Other apps like Netflix and Disney Plus are perfectly fine, but I do want you to keep in mind that the HD450BTs do have a noticeable amount of latency whenever you're watching YouTube videos on an iPhone. But if you're an Android user, you're going to have zero latency across the board with these headphones. Now, when it comes to listening to music with these headphones, the HD450BTs are a pair of neutral sounding headphones that have the better instrument separation and a wider soundstage here, whereas the Sonys are the people pleasers here. The WH-CH700Ns have a fully customizable EQ, so you can make them sound however you want. If you like a neutral sound signature, you can do that, or if you like to physically feel the bass on your headphones, then you can also do that. Because the bass on the HD450BTs is purely the audible kind, meaning that no matter how much bass there is, they aren't going to physically rattle your head like the Sonys do. Also, the Sonys get significantly louder than the HD450BTs. Now for me, the HD450BTs get more than loud enough, but I thought I'd point it out. Overall, the Sonys sound good enough and they get the job done, but if you're looking for a higher quality sound, then you're better off going with the Sennheisers. With the Sonys, you're mainly hearing the vocals and the thumping of the bass, whereas with the Sennheisers, you can hear those finer details that are lost with the Sonys, and also the highs stay much crisper on the Sennheisers as well. Now, when it comes to the active noise cancellation on these headphones, for the most part, they're evenly matched. Now, technically, the WH-CH700Ns are blocking out a tiny bit more noise than the HD450BTs, but the performance difference between these two headphones isn't all that drastic. But so you can see for yourself, we're going to jump into an ANC test. Now, first off, I added the Sony 1000XM3s to this ANC test merely as a reference point. The 1000XM3s are in a completely different league than both the HD450BTs and the WH-CH700N. But with all that being said, both of these headphones are blocking out a sufficient amount of noise for a pair of entry-level ANC headphones. Now, no, these headphones aren't going to block out the world like a pair of premium ANC headphones, but they can be useful on a bus or in a chatty office. And honestly, you can't go wrong with either of these headphones because neither of these headphones have any cabin pressure, which is great. So you're not going to feel any discomfort or feel like you're underwater from the ANC on either of these headphones. And finally, when it comes to the microphone on these headphones for phone calls, I think they're evenly matched. Now, they don't sound amazing and your voice might sound a little shallow, but they're also not the worst. So I think these headphones will get the job done. The only thing that I do want to point out is that due to the WH-700N's shady build quality, you can sometimes hear the frame of these headphones cracking whenever I'm talking. But overall, the HD450BT and WH-700N are pretty evenly matched. They both have their pros and cons, and they're both better suited for a different type of consumer. The HD450BTs have a way better build quality, they sound better, and they also have USB-C charging. But that's a given because these headphones are newer. Whereas the Sonys have a more comfortable fit, the bass on them can physically be felt, and they also don't have any latency issues when watching YouTube videos on an iPhone. But when it comes to active noise cancellation on these headphones, they're basically the same. They both block out the same amount of noise with basically zero cabin pressure. But overall, this is making me more excited for the Sony WH-CH710N because the Sennheiser HD450BTs are already a formidable contender. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit that like button and get subscribed. It helps out more than you realize. If you want to pick another products up mentioned in this video, those will be linked in the description down below, and you can also support the channel by checking out the merch store. But other than that, I'll catch you next time.